Bana. On the onset, let me just tell something about Bana. My name is Sadet, and I met Bana in Gaziantep, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, meeting Bana and her family and her babies. Um, Bana is a very interesting woman, interesting in a sense that Bana is a student as well as an activist within, with the communities in Gaziantep, in particular, the Syrian communities, women and children. I'm going to stop here and let Bana tell her story and what she has been doing in Gaziantep and throughout her life, really. So thank you for accepting this, Bana.
Thank you for having me, Sadet. Well, actually, I've been living in Gaziantep since 2015, which means for the past 4.5 years, we can say
Mm-hmm.
5. I've met lots of families. I have met lots of people. I had the chance to work with lots of people and get to know them. You know, being from Syria these days would let you know, open enormous door to know a lot of facts and a lot of things about people, especially about what have been going on in Idlib for the past 1.5 months, since they were unfortunately kicked out of their houses. They just placed them into camps. 10 to 12 families were sitting in one camp. Can you imagine that? One camp, which is basically a tent. It's made of papers. I don't know what it's made of, but it's basically nothing good to be lived in. Uh, 10 to 12 families in one camp. These families, with their wives, with their kids, uh, there's no basics of life there. No clean water to drink, no bathrooms. Even one guy, they were just interviewing him, just he was just crying. He was just saying and he was talking and crying and saying, God, we are men. We've got men, we've got boys. It's okay. We can handle ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. With the thing of bathroom and toilets and all these details. But we've got women. So what shall we do with that? No bathrooms. Just a camp, just a tent. No kitchen. It's not like a house. It's just a tent in a wild. They are just living there,
I
and
mean,
they are freezing
all
to
that,
death.
I think
Mhm.
snow there already, um,
Yeah,
and it's very cold.
yeah, especially in January, in December and January, it had been freezing outside, honestly, so that they were freezing to death. I know kids, they die, they are just got frozen, just the heart stopped suddenly because of being cold. No, nothing to be warm, to feel warm with. No sheets, no fire, even fire. No, this is one of the most simple things in life that you can just make out of nothing. They can't do it, so they are freezing. They're just hungry. They're always starving. Lack of everything, literally everything. Like a food, like of clothes. They just drag them out of their houses and place them into those camps, and they were just doing nothing but like trying to survive, trying to stay alive. uh, Lots of families came out from Idlib, and in way or another they just managed to reach to Gaziantep. uh, Most of them couldn't, like take residence, or just get along with all of the legal things, unfortunately, because of lack of money and lack of abilities. And most of the men's, they're just widows. Most of the women's came here are just widows, no men, only with their children. So they're facing every single detail, every single bad detail that you may imagine here in Gaziantep and in general in Turkey. The government just trying to do their best, but even if there are a lot of them, they are facing the worst circumstances ever, especially now with the spreading of coronavirus. They're just saying that there's a curfew in Syria, stay home, don't go out. But these boys, these workers, they take their salaries per week. It's not per month, so there's no contracts, nothing to guarantee. Uh, the jobs. So if you work, you will eat. If you didn't work, you will not eat. It's just as simple as this. Even with those, even with what, even with everything that's going on right now, with the spreading of the coronavirus, and it's still dangerous to go out, and you know, you must cancel all the gatherings, weddings, and celebrations, and even the companies, organizations, everything has been closed, these days. But these workers, they must go to work, because if you
The
didn't
ref-
work,
so
yeah,
the refugees living in Gaziantep is working on daily basis within the building industry. Is that right?
yeah, yeah,
Are they working in
unfortunately.
Gaziantep or are they going into Syria and coming out from Syria?
Well, actually, I just heard that the last week the going and coming back from Syria is totally forbidden now, so they're not able to go and come. If you went to Syria, you will not be able to come right now. Just stay there, and it's their right, But the coronavirus, it's not something simple, It's something dangerous. It's a virus. Yes, it's killing people. It's serious. So who is going out of Turkey won't come in, and the same is true. Who was coming won't go out. So just stay in your place. Unfortunately, like since the revolution in Syria started 2011, I knew that the country will be changing. But I didn't imagine that it will go. It will go that way. It will become this bad. People, they were kicked out of their houses. Lot of widows, millions. I say millions. If, if it weren't million, it's hundreds of thousands people. Unfortunately, here in Gaziantep, these people, these families, who particularly in a way or another, they're just a family. They just force their daughters to get married in a very young age because they are poor and they can't feed them. As simple as this. You are just 15 or 16, go and get married, make your own family, so they will get reward of her responsibility. So they're just creating victims. Victims are creating victims, and it's going on like that.
So
It,
is there a quite a big number of young girls? How old are these girls that sort of
they
have to get
are,
married because of financial reasons?
it starts from 12,
Oh,
uh, sometimes in 11. Yes, till the age of 16 that we can count. Amina, she's a young girl. She's a baby. In my own point of view, I see that she's a baby. A girl of 16 years old or 12 years old or even 11 years old. She's being forced to get married just because her parents are not able to uh, provide the basics of life for her, like food and secure and safe place to stay in, to live in. No education, of course. This is uh, this is
mhm.
totally forgotten. No education at all for those families and for those girls, and especially the ones who are being forbidden to stay with their families after a while. They're just getting married and they're leaving the houses, the family houses. So she's just a victim, and the victim is creating another victim. It's going on like that, unfortunately, especially here in Gaziantep, and it's going on all secretly. They're not talking about it in general because it's forbidden. It's not allowed to make a girl to force a girl to get married, even if she were 22,
Mhm.
20 or 20, 30 years old. How about forcing a child to get married? So it's forbidden. It's not allowed. It's against the law. So all of these are being done secretly without not without letting no one knows. So this girl, the bride, she has no rights at all. Even when she gets pregnant, she can't go to the hospital and give birth. Why? Because as soon as she do, they will just grab her family and the husband, and they will be kicked in jail. And this is the normal process to do. This is the good thing to do. But the only the only victim here in this process is the girl, the bride. You know, so it's a baby creating another baby, having a birth for another baby. So you can imagine this, and most of these families are living in the worst circumstances that you can even imagine, in the worst places. the worst houses. They're not eating properly. They're not educating properly. They're not alive, unfortunately, most of them. Even so, they are still doing this. They are still forcing their daughters to get married. Even the boys. I know so many boys. They got married in the age of 18. Can you imagine that? A man. He's not a man. He's a boy. He's also being forced to get married in the age of 18. Like, go find a job, take care of your own family. We can't do anything to you anymore. So the process have been going on like that here in Gaziantep and in Turkey in general. Yeah.
For the Syrian. Well, in terms of the coronavirus at the moment, and what do you think? I can just imagine what the circumstances people are living under, especially in Idlib, and especially in those tents on the border. And what about the people, sort of who are currently living in, sort of accommodation with 10 families into one house, or 10 young men or 10 young girls? So is there any access to them? Could any information pass? So they're not even isolating themselves because they have to work for a living?
They are just keep telling that you must isolate yourself. There's a curfew. You're not supposed to go out. You're not supposed to work. But these families, especially ones who are living in camps in Idlib, they are isolating themselves, actually. But you know what? Most of them are working. So the man, he has to go to work and he has to come back. So he, in a way or another, maybe he will get the coronavirus. Of course, they are not talking about it. They are not saying that there's people who got coronavirus in Idlib. They are not talking about it at all. So the virus is spread in all the family and the rest of the families who are staying in this camp. And in this situation, no medical care at all, no doctors. The coronavirus keeps spreading. They can't stop it. How they would stop it? These people are staying in camps, and in order to fight this virus, you need to rest and stay warm. Yes, and drink hot stuff to warm up yourself with. And all of these things are not available. All these simple things are just simply not available. And he has to go out to work. If he didn't work, they won't eat. Yes, they will die. They will die from hunger. They will die of freezing. Anyway.
So there's no water there, there's no sanitary, there's no medical assistance, in freezing type of circumstances, and 10 to 15 families in one tent.
Yeah, women, with women, this is the worst part that I'm just going to, each family has got, a man and a wife. So let's say 2 wives, 12 wives. Each family will have at least 2 daughters, or let's say 1. So we will have more than 24 women in one camp with more than 30 men. They just keep wearing their hijab and wearing, they just keep covering themselves. No privacy, of course. This is no longer an option for them to take. No privacy, no place to take a bath, so to say that. No toilets. They're just starving. They're starving and they are freezing. Even in this, like now we're almost in April. It's supposed to be spring, but yes, in these areas in the northwest of Syria, it's still cold. Yes, it's still cold, and these people are living in camps, in tents. These tents are nothing to be like a house. Okay, so they're just dying. They are dying, and people are not understanding the difficulty and the dangers of the situation that they are going through. That even it will become worse if they didn't really provide serious help. It will become worse. I am sure of that.
So for those who might get a chance to listen to what you've been talking about, and in particular the most vulnerable people in our community at the moment, and in Turkey and in the world, basically, is the displaced people. For those listeners, what would be things that you would like them to think about or do or raise awareness to it? What would you think how we can help support, raise the awareness? What do you think the most important thing from your perspective?
Well,
Given that
in
you're
my point of
the basis.
yes, in my point of view, I say that now they are there, but maybe tomorrow we will be there. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what. Yes, nobody knows what could the life bring to us, what life could drag us through. We're now secure in our houses. We are warm. We are seeing our kids just running in the house in front of us, and their stomach is full, and they're playing. They're having fun. But other kids are walking outside half naked. I just imagine, what if these kids were my kids, or your kids, or the ones who are seeing the interviews kids?
That's right.
Shall we stay silent like that? No, no,
You can-
no. Yes, we won't stay like that. I just say we no, like, we are people. We are normal people. We don't rule governments. We don't rule organizations. We must do everything that we can do, even if it were an interview, a voice letter, voice message, a picture you take, a story you record on Instagram, anything you may do to spread awareness that nobody knows what life could bring us to tomorrow. Maybe I'm in my house tomorrow, maybe today, maybe the next week I will be there. I'll be outside homeless. How shall I feel? What shall I do to survive? There's no guarantee in this life. There's no guarantee, people. We just we're just supposed to be humans. That's it. We're not supposed to do something more than that. Just follow your heart and follow what's right to do, what's right to say, no matter what it will cost you.
That's right. Thank you. We need to be the voice for the voiceless.
Yes, of course. Indeed. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
You
for
know we're
having
all
me.
here, and I'm one of your biggest supporters. Thank you so very much, Bana. Hopefully one day we will meet again.
We will, I'm sure.
Of
Never
course we
mind.
will. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.